Tucson Tasty Show. I'm Wesley Source, your host, and we are here live in studio, ready and excited for another amazing episode of the Tucson Tasty Show, which is brought to you by SACA, the Southern Arizona Art and Cultural Alliance, dedicated to creating, preserving, and advancing the arts. I'm your host, Wesley Source. So we have a special guest co-host today. We have Grant Cougar here in studio, the owner of Union Public House, Reforma Modern Mexican Mezcal and Tequila, and Proof Artisan Pizza to discuss a couple things today. Thank you for jumping into the conversation.
Good afternoon, Wesley. Excited to be here today.
Awesome. And then we have our anchor guest co-host, Cody Peck from Network Outdoors, decided to join us today too. That was awesome. Thank you for coming in.
You're welcome.
And we have a few minutes if Joshua wants to jump into the conversation as well. We're just waiting for some delicious pizza to be delivered from, let's see. Well, we got a pretty great lineup today. We have Tim Miller of Duke's Delicious Pizza. We have Chef Christian Padilla from Flying V Bar and Grill. And then we have a few other special surprise guests that'll pop in. And, of course, we have to say thank you and congratulations to Chef Lindy of Thunder Bacon Burger on 6th and Congress for winning this year's Tucson Knife Fight. And he also won the 50-50, which was incredible. I mean, his wife won the 50-50. He won the Iron Chef. So he got the pans, he got the knife, he got the all the stuff, the title, and then his wife pulls down the 50-50.
That's like a superfecta over there. That's amazing.
Right.
All night winners. Wait. Next year they're going to be changing the rules because of that.
I'm waiting for the results of the performance-enhancing drug test. I don't know about you guys here.
That would be the pig's blood that he had in the semifinals.
Fair enough.
So tell us a little bit about what's going on in your world, Grant.
So Union Hospitality Group, right? We're Union Public House, Reforma Modern Mexican, Proof Artisanal Pizza and Pasta, and the Maverick on the east side at Grant and Tanga Verde. And we are super excited for season to be coming upon us here in the Old Pueblo. It's just starting to cool off. And I think we are really, really excited to see the end of summer, as I know probably most of your listeners are as well, too.
Yes, but I don't think we're going to see the end of summer until the end of November. And the reason why is because the javelina saw its shadow. So that means 6 more weeks of summer for Arizona.
Follow the science. You are correct, sir.
Say the leaves start turning brown. It's like, well, you look over on a mountain, it's starting to turn brown. So I don't know. It's starting to get fall there.
With all those evergreen trees, yes.
The cactus. Well, it's the bushes that's there.
For us, with a big patio over in St. Philip's Plaza, we're always watching that weather because, the changes in weather could be very significant to the restaurant sales.
Yes.
Or just even people deciding to choose to dine with us happens to increase when that weather is nice out. And we're days away from it just being awesome at 7, 8, 9 p.m., which is exactly when you want it to be awesome for your dining guests for dinner.
Well, yeah, you also have live music there certain nights, too, which is great at night when the cooler weather's out.
Yeah, we're doing live music now 6 nights a week. So every night except for Mondays. On Mondays, we've got the coaches radio shows on a different radio station, so we won't mention which one over here on the air on 10:30 a.m. The Voice here. But we've got Coach Brent Brennan that does his live radio show on Monday nights, and Tommy Lloyd is lined up after the football season to pick that one up as well, too.
And do you guys still have those mimosas during the weekends as well?
Yeah, we've got a mimosa passport. So Union, Reforma, and Proof are all the same liquor license, right? It's one LLC, one address, one liquor license. And
that's awesome.
The neat part about that is that you can take an open cocktail from one establishment into the next because technically they're all the same establishment. And so on the weekends, they do a mimosa passport where that you pay once for mimosas. They give you a wristband. And then you can just go into each of the 3 restaurants or into that center courtyard to see what's going on either the stage or that screen and just help yourself to mimosas throughout the course of the early morning or late afternoon.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then you have a little different vibe at each one if you go inside.
Yes.
Now, Union's one of my favorite because we got Whiskey Wednesdays. But then, well, I don't think most people understand this, but you guys also have cigars there, too.
Without a doubt.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it's a great patio to do so. We've got so much space. Cigars are so hard to do, even in traditional restaurant patios, because you got the 4 of us sitting out there like smoking cigars, right? Like you can really smoke out the table next to you. You can guarantee that even where you draw the line, of a legal smoking and non-smoking section. Right next to us will be the most allergic non-smoker you've ever seen. And the wind will suddenly turn in that direction as well, too. And it always creates a really fun navigational experience about smoke-free Arizona laws.
Fair enough. So what's going on with the wild game dinner with Network Outdoors?
Well, we're going to have to postpone it a little bit with some issues at the Pima County side. So we are looking to host it at a new spot and get the expo going with it too at the same time.
Fair enough.
We have a few conversations lined up, but from what I'm talking about with a few people, we're looking to probably just do a wild game dinner and then postpone the expo part of it with another dinner a few months later.
And it's a lot of fun with the wild game dinner because it also helps some local charities. What are the local charities again?
Well, we're going to be helping out 4-H. So everyone always thinks 4-H with farming, but they actually have a few different programs. And one of their things is outdoors and shooting sports. So we're going to help them out. And then a charity that used to be headquartered in Tucson now switched over to Texas, but Safari Club International. So a hunting rights and conservation group that's actually has spent hundreds of millions of dollars on tracking and bringing back extinct animals.
Wow. That's awesome. So if anybody knows any locations that's around November 9th, please reach out.
Yeah,
to NetworkOutdoors.com, right?
Cody Peck at NetworkOutdoors.com. If we can get something up and running, we'll have the dinner and we'll just move the expo date and get that up and running at a later date.
Awesome. So we're moving into voting season. Everybody's about to get their mail-in ballots, and then we also have voting day coming up. If you're not registered to vote, I think it's too late to register to vote.
It is.
But you can still be educated on what's going on. Now, one of them really affects everybody in the restaurant scene, which is Prop 138. And we typically lean away from any politics, but this one really does help everybody that's in the restaurant community, especially servers or bartenders or anybody that's tipped in that community. And Grant, I know you know a lot more about it.
Sure. So obviously it's going to be a really crowded ballot, right? To begin with, there are 13 ballot propositions out there. To
Have you seen that book they sent out?
Yeah, if you didn't get that voter
foam
guide
book?
yet, it looks like a Uline catalog. Like this thing is like 2 inches thick. It's actually 355 pages, I've counted, explaining the various races and all of these ballot initiatives. One of them that is near and dear to just about everyone's heart in the service industry is Proposition 138, commonly known as the Tipped Worker Protection Act.
Right.
And the genesis of Proposition 138 actually came up as a defensive measure against another potential ballot initiative that was done by a group called Raise the Wage AZ, or also known as One Fair Wage on a national level.
Right.
And their intent was to get rid of the tip credit, i.e. the slight reduction in base server wage that's made up for with tips, and make Arizona's full Monty minimum wage $18 an hour and the server wage $18 an hour.
Now, conversely, though, and it would also remove tips, though, because then the restaurant owners like yourself would have to make up that extra money, right?
So here's the deal, Wesley. Like restaurants always pay their employees full Monty minimum wage, right? Like there is no employee that works in any state in the United States that makes less than minimum wage. The $3 tip credit that we have takes the $14.35 an hour Arizona minimum wage and moves it down to an $11.35 base for servers, bartenders, and hostesses and other tipped employees. The employer, such as myself, would be responsible for making up that delta, that extra $3, should the servers not make that in tips.
So that's already in place.
Yes, this has already been in place for years. In fact, Proposition 138, not to get too deep into the weeds on it yet as we're working on the backstory, would raise that minimum wage that the employer would have to make up an additional $2 an hour. And so since we know that Arizona's minimum wage is going to move up to $14.70 an hour on January 1st, 2025, with the Tip Worker Protection Act, servers would have the additional knowledge of knowing that they would make at least $16.70 an hour. Because the establishment would have to make up an additional $2 an hour above whatever the full Monty minimum wage is, should they take that tip credit, which essentially means that the servers would be guaranteed $16.70, but in the real world, they make substantially more than that.
Right. And I've actually interviewed quite a few of them, or a few of them said, I don't want you to tell them or say my name or where I work, but there's a lot of servers in some better establishments that make $100+ an hour. And going to going to a one solid wage, that means that there's a pool, they lose a lot of that.
Without a doubt. It's an incredibly difficult situation that actually comes from our own fault in the industry because of the hospitality that we have for our guests. We never talk about tips with you, right? I couldn't possibly come to you and say, Wesley, you only tipped 10% at our establishment last night. Was something wrong with your service? You would be instantly fired, right? We absolutely do not talk about tips with our customers at all. But we also don't talk about tips in between the walls of the restaurants, because you wouldn't want your servers, who obviously have slightly differential earnings based on the amount of tables and the expenditure of the tables. You don't want them talking about tips, lest they get jealous with each other.
Right.
Or even worse, that the kitchen staff hear them griping about, I only made $45 an hour. Well, I made $52 an hour. And the kitchen guy that's making 18 is hearing this and saying, both of you go pound sand. I don't want to hear about this. So we just generally don't talk about tips in the industry. And that's what's hurting us right now. That's how we ended up with these national groups that are out there trying to save the servers and bartenders from this sub-minimum wage, as they call it, in spite of the fact that they're actually making many multiples more than what the minimum wage would be.
Well, we're going to be right back after the break with more about this. I'm Wesley Source, your host for the Tucson Tasty Show. We'll be back with more fun with from Grant and Cody and Joshua. We also have Tim from Duke's Delicious Pizza. Thank you to our amazing sponsors, Saka, Vero Premium Beef, Your Financial Guide, Cody Peck, Network Outdoors, Local First Arizona, Allegra Marketing, Print and Mail. And as always, stay tasty, Tucson. Welcome back to the Tucson Tasty Show. I'm your host, Wesley Source, and we're here live in studio. If you have any questions for us, feel free to jump into the conversation by calling 520-790-2040. Again, that's 790-2040. And or you can comment online on YouTube, Facebook, or possibly Instagram. I know we're at least live on the YouTube and Facebook. Instagram is the ever elusive. We have everything programmed, but we'll get there eventually. All right. So we have Tim from Duke's Pizza, right?
Yeah, Duke's Delicious Pizza.
Duke's Delicious Pizza. Thank you for joining us today. How you doing?
I'm pretty good. How are you doing?
Good. So tell us a little bit about Duke's. Where are you guys located, and what do you do?
Duke's is a mobile pizza truck. We have thin crust and we have deep dish, like Detroit style. I try not to say cities too much, but that'd be about
Detroit
close.
style. All right.
Like rectangular.
Mm.
We're all over the place. We do all kinds of events, bars, Dragoon, Caps and Corks, Tap and Bottle, kids soccer tournaments, bar mitzvahs, everything.
It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
What's how did you guys develop the pizza crust? How did you get into really creating this pizza? It's a pizza truck, right? So
Yes.
What was the story behind? Why did you want to do that?
There's some other pizza trucks in town, like really good ones. They're wood fired. Mine's different because it's a deck oven, and so it's like 1,000-pound oven that cooks at about 450, 500 degrees. And we started at the farmer's market like 2.5 years ago out in Oro Valley with these little uni ovens. And then we just progressed to putting a big Blodgett on a motorcycle trailer. And then I picked up a real trailer in Nashville and drove it back. And that's what I've been on.
Sweet. How did you develop did you develop the pizza dough? I mean, that's the biggest thing with pizza, right? I mean, it's all about the dough, and how it crisps up, and I mean everything.
Yes. So I do a cold fermentation. I aim for 4 days. 7 days is really awesome. I love it when it's 7 days, but sometimes it doesn't work that way, just with time crunch. I try not to do a 1 day ferment. Just progressively gets better, and I just worked at like 9 pizza places as a kid and like growing up. and then I would do it for fun. My friends and I would like have pizza parties, and then I just decided what the heck, I would try to do it, and I got into class at Startup Tucson downtown, and that really
Wonderful.
helped me like kind of catapult to starting it.
Yeah, no, that's a great program,
Yeah.
and I'm not sure if it's still in the same building or not because I know that the U of A.
It's not in the same
moved.
building
It's
anymore.
not okay. So it used to be, yeah. It used to be down at the Roy Place or something. But Startup Tucson's incredible. But you can go to startuptucson.org to find that and check it out. So. You got the pizza truck. You started making pizzas. You go to food truck roundups. You go to food or special events. Have you heard of food truck food fights?
I think a little bit. Is that the one with Snoop Dogg?
Yeah,
Coming up?
it's the Road to Snoop Dogg's Arizona Bowl, and it's actually produced by the Tucson Tasty Show, me. So
Nice.
we're super excited about that, and hopefully we'll be able to get you involved. We're going to be starting off at Harbottle Brewery as the first stop, and the only thing we ask them is to move or to extend their liquor license, so they covered the parking lot, so we can have a beer and walk
Nice.
around and enjoy the food. And we're getting a lot of food trucks lined up right now.
That's great. And
Yeah.
did you tell that each one of them has to pair with the pickle beer?
No, because that would be that would put them in a pickle. Sorry, I couldn't help it. Anyways, but yeah, no, the pickle beer, the Merc and Gherkin. I don't know if you've tried the Merc and Gherkin, Grant.
I haven't had the opportunity yet, but I've heard of this.
It's
Yes.
down the street. We typically go there after the show, so if if you have time, the American Gherkin is hands down some of the best pickle beer in Tucson. But it's not just pickle beer because he doesn't just take brine and put it in there. He actually gets brine from a pickle maker up in Phoenix, and so it's very controlled and it's very consistent. And then it's actually a sour. He uses a sour mash as the base, so it all ties together really well, which would be great with pizza, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
What's your favorite pizza?
Do you mean like which place in town?
No, to make.
Oh, to make. I like making the Detroit, the deep dish type. I like to build up the cheese wall on the outside. That kind of caramelizes and gets crunchy. And I like my sausage is really good and fresh mozz and fresh basil. I keep it really simple. I don't have like crazy toppings and stuff like that. So I just kind of keep it classic. That's what
Awesome.
I
Where do you
like.
get your sausage from?
So I get it from Restaurant Depot, and then I jazz it up with my own spices.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
I put fennel
That's
in.
great.
We have a favorite sausage place here in town, but
Oh.
we also make sausage.
Oh, nice.
We got to
Eventually.
make that. We got to get that with my new meat grinder. We got to get your family's recipe
Yes.
going.
Well, it's a Sicilian sausage recipe, so yeah, it's good stuff. What's your favorite topping on a pizza, Grant?
You know, I do like a nice spicy sausage, to be honest with you. I feel like it's a great topping on a pizza over here. So we could talk sausage all day, casing our own sausage and
Oh,
everything
yeah.
over here, right up our alley.
I think it would be even better if we just go over to Rocco's today and tomorrow. They're doing free pizza until it's gone because he's moving over to his new place. So go check out Rocco's, or you could go check out the your pizza place, right?
Yeah, we're Proof artisanal pizza and pasta in St. Philip's Plaza as well, too. Sure. Lots of great pizza in the old Pueblo. There's an amazing number of operators out there.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. So why don't you grab some pizza and we'll try to dive into a bite really quick. And while you're doing that,
Think about what you recommend for your one item or one skill or something for the at-home chef to be better.
let me simplify that for you. What one thing does an at-home cook need in their kitchen?
Oh,
There we go.
Definitely, without a doubt, a baking steel.
Baking steel.
Yeah,
Okay.
baking steel. Instead of a stone, get a baking steel, put it in your oven, and you can make really good pizza that way.
All right.
Baking steel. Oh yeah, no, we have baking steel. I do like the baking steel. We got it from the. Never mind. All right. Oh, Copper Forge. That's a good idea. If you go to copperforge.com, they can actually make baking steel for you. They actually made a burger smasher for the smash burgers at Thunder Bacon Burger, and then he won all those pans too. So it's pretty cool
He's
stuff.
covered. He's got lots of toys over
Oh, yeah.
there. Look
Yep.
at this delicious pizza we've got over here. I know it's
My
mostly
gosh.
radio, but there's some good looking stuff right here.
Well, that's why everybody has to jump on the live feed and check it out. Wow, there's a lot of pizzas.
How
All
much
right.
does-
So which one is your favorite pizza that we can try?
Oh, he just keeps pulling them out, man.
Oh my gosh, there's another one.
There is no shortage of pizza over here in the KVI studios today.
Yes. All right.
You know, that Detroit style pizza like got its origins from being made in pans, like cast iron pans from the automotive industry, actually, like from the assembly lines themselves. And they would line the pans with lard as well, which is what gave like a lot of that crispy outside crust to a good Detroit style pizza.
I actually use lard in my
Oh,
pans.
I love it.
too.
That's a great one right there. I am from Detroit, so
Oh,
this is where
nice,
this
nice,
comes from. Little Motor City action
Yeah.
over here.
Okay,
Sorry about the
sorry, I don't have brick cheese in it. 'cause
no judgment. I get it.
It's hard to find around here.
and
Yeah.
expensive as
Yeah.
well too.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we grab one of these slices, and we're almost down to 3 minutes here until the hard break at the bottom. But perfect. Thank you. There we go. All right.
I'll be in Detroit in about 2 weeks.
Have you done a
nice.
bake? We have a question from the audience. Have you done a bacon wrapped pizza yet?
No, not yet. Is there one in town that I should try?
I don't think there is one, as far as I know.
Bacon wrap technology hasn't quite reached the pizza industry, I think, yet. There are entire bacon burritos, but I have yet to see a bacon wrapped pizza. So there's a challenge out there, perhaps, for a food truck or an operator.
You heard it here first, folks. Bacon wrapped pizza. Now, I would say put it around in the pan.
In the pan on the
And
outside
then,
with the crust.
and then with the crust, and then because you have that deep dish, but crisp it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And then let it caramelize with, I don't know, but that's just spitballing ideas. What do you think? Anybody?
It's
I mean,
good.
this is
It's got a little kick to it. Do you add any type of peppers or something to your sauce?
Yes, a little bit of crushed red pepper there.
So, tell me about. Am I supposed to eat the basil as well?
You can like break it up on it.
Okay.
A lot of people do that.
Instead of Parmesan.
Well, it's always tough with to-go pizza, right? Because we're so used to fast food pizza that's chemically engineered, right? So that the dough holds a certain way, and the cheese, you can bite through it as opposed to biting into fresh mozzarella or a buffalo mozzarella or something, where as it congeals, even 7, 8, 9 minutes in a to-go box can take away a lot from a pizza's character.
Yeah. Yep. Fair enough.
I remember when Scordato's Pizzeria opened up first in St. Philip's Plaza, Dan Scordato of Vivace fame wouldn't sell his pizza to go for a number of years, and much to the ire of a lot of customers who are used to pizza being a to-go food for all the reasons that we know. But quite frankly, he said it's no good that way, right? If it sits in the back of a Camry for 18 minutes, it loses a lot of character as opposed to like a really neat Neapolitan-style pizza that's amazing when it comes right off of a 900-degree wood-fired oven,
You
but
get a little
not
bit of crisp, caramelization on it. Oh my. Yeah.
Yeah, the take-go compared for sit-down restaurants, the to-go orders always are. They just don't taste the same when you take them
Yeah.
home.
I did an order one time for like 53 pizzas to deliver to like a Winnebago convention, and it was like half-hour drive, and
Oh my gosh.
and like
No pizza
no
died on the
crisp
way.
on the cut, and like because it just steamed the whole way there, but. They were drinking a lot, so they were cool. They didn't mind.
Awesome. Well, I'm Wesley Source, your host of the Tucson Tasty Show. We'll be right back with more amazing bites and guests. Thank you to our amazing sponsors. That's Saka, Vera Oral Premium Beef, Your Financial Guide, Cody Peck, Network Outdoors, Local First Arizona, Allegra Marketing, Print and Mail. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and stay tasty, Tucson. Welcome back to the Tucson Tasty Show. I'm your host, Wesley Source. We're here live in studio. We did a good shuffle, and now we have the CDC from Flying V, and you can go ahead and tell everybody what the CDC is. But we have Christian Padilla of the Flying V, and we did an interview with him earlier this week, and he put out some food that was just it was stunningly beautiful as well as just over the top tasty.
Thank you, Wesley. I appreciate that.
So, what is a CDC for everybody in the audience?
So the CDC position is the chef de cuisine. So I am the chef de cuisine at the Flying V.
Wonderful. What is the chef? I'm terrible with French.
Chef de cuisine.
Yes.
Oui,
Oui, chef. Is that right?
basically, I, in a ballpark, I basically get paid to play with food. That's what I do.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And that goes along with the numbers, plating, execution, flavor profiles, market, and all that jazz. So
Perfect.
Yep.
Well, So tell us a little bit about Flying V. How did you get there, and what do you have to offer to all of Tucson?
Well, I landed at the Flying V almost by accident. I want to say I was applying for a job for CDC there at Lowe's Resort at Van Santa Canyon, and after 5 interviews and 8 hours later, tasting went well. I like to believe it did. And yeah, then they took me down to the Flying V and they said, well, this is yours now. So
That's incredible.
yeah, it was great. I was just like, cool, what did I sign up for?
Right.
Yeah.
One of the dishes absolutely blew me away, and that was your chili. My words are gone for the week. Sorry, Chilean sea bass.
Yes.
And this sea bass, I don't like fish. Really, I can't eat fish. I'm not supposed to eat a lot of fish, anyways. But this was incredible. It was meaty. It wasn't fishy. It was fresh. It was the flavor profile with everything, and then there was squash as well. Go ahead and tell us about that dish. How did you develop those flavors for that dish?
Well, the Chilean sea bass, it's a dish I kind of had been working on for several months before that. I wanted to execute it just right, and the most exciting part about that dish is it kind of hits close to Sonoran flavors and what I'm going for, because the rest of the accoutrement to that is a smoked walnut horchata underneath with the broth, and as one of the garnishes, I do a matcha verde,
Right.
which has a lot of citrus notes, vanilla bean as well, pistachio. It really brings out the floral, fruity flavors, and it blends well with the sweetness of the kaboka squash. Sorry about that. It brings out the flavor of the sweetness of the kaboka squash, which
Sure.
is confit in olive oil as well. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely delicious, absolutely incredible. That's what I recommend everybody to try, or the lamb birria, because just the lamb birria is absolutely incredible. It's just
Thank you.
delicious. But check them out. That is at Lowe's Ventana Canyon Resort.
yes.
All right, and it's the Flying V. Now, you did bring in some salsas that you've been working on for us.
Yes, I
to
did.
try. Why don't we walk through those? What does that look like?
Yeah, most definitely. I did bring the matcha verde, which is the green matcha that we just spoke about that went with the Chilean sea bass.
Oh, one of my favorites.
That is that little guy right there. I also brought matcha roja. Both of these do contain nuts. If there's any nut allergies, everybody. This is more of a dry red roasted chilies and toasted pecans. And I also brought a nopal chimichurri as well. It's briny. It's everything you look for in a chimichurri, but from the Sonoran Desert, basically. So
All right, so we just pop them open and
Pop
pour?
'em open, go
All
right ahead.
Let's do this.
Yep.
And then I do have some sauce for you to try as well, but
All right.
it's completely optional for everybody that comes on the show. But you do get a really cool sticker. We call it the Tucson Tasty Show Challenge, and it's either the Pepper X, which is this one represents the pepper really well. It's
Okay.
a really flavorful pepper. It's incredible. Once you try it, you'll probably want to work with it.
Is
But
this the Apollo pepper?
no, that one's Pepper X.
Pepper X, gotcha.
And then this one is the Carolina Reaper. This one I had written on there with a Sharpie for enemies only, but it's rubbed off. This one is
The enemies didn't make it.
no, yeah. That one's a rough one, but it's definitely true to the challenge, and it's supposed to be a little bit hot. But we've got some chips there, and I'm gonna try some of this
Go right ahead.
amazing chimichurri, right?
Graham, would you like some? All
Absolutely. How could I say no?
right.
And then we have some. Yeah, there we go. So we also have some incredible pizza, and this Duke's Delicious Pizza, I mean, really hit. What was good, bad, ugly with that, Grant?
I thought it was really good. And again, pizza doesn't travel very well, like up front, like good pizza like that. And it was really nice stuff. Like I think there was a nice crust on the. You could tell that they used lard again to line those pans, and that adds that like really crispy edge that you want for a Detroit style pizza. So excited to see
Yeah,
what they come
absolutely.
up with, and it's great to see them popping up in local breweries all over town.
Yes. Oh, he went after the just with a spoon. I have some chips there.
I don't want the chips to water down the flavor.
Oh, look at that. I don't know if you can see Chef sweating on the radio or not over here, but he's going for it.
I wasn't expecting you to turn red, but yeah, there we go.
All right, let's go for the X now.
The X is actually a step down.
Is it really?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay.
The Carolina Reaper is technically less. It's a million Scoville. The Pepper X has the 3 million Scoville, but hands down, this Carolina
Thank
Reaper
you.
is hotter.
You know how you know it's good? When it's instant heartburn.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's how you know it's quality.
Fair enough.
Oh, that Pepper X is really good.
I told you
Yeah.
once you try that one, you're going to want to work with it a little bit more.
Oh,
but,
I'm
just
definitely
hands
gonna
down.
pocket this on the way
My
out.
mouth waters every time everybody else eats it. But yeah, you can order that on hotones.com. But what is the green that is in the?
So the green, that's the nopal chimichurri, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so the green in that is we char off the nopal, and I also use cilantro, mint, and parsley in that.
It's just good.
Yeah, that is really good.
I mean,
Right.
it has that acid, but it has that really savory too. So, I mean, you can bring in. That'd be good on a pizza.
Let's be honest, anything on a pizza is good on a pizza.
Is there any ingredient that's a loser? Maybe fish pizza. I don't know if I've seen really.
Fish.
I have done a salmon sashimi pizza before.
Oh my!
Yeah,
All right.
and I mean it worked, but I mean maybe it's for the adventurous eater, I would imagine.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a lot of seafood is done well on pizza. I think that's about where I draw the line right there. I'm a
Oyster-
pineapple guy up
Yeah.
front. I can go there, but like you start getting into weird
Oh, here we
fish, and
go.
I think you've crossed
Pineapple
the line.
on pizza. The
Pineapple
debate
on
of the,
pizza
the
and fish on
century.
pizza. No, I'll skip those two.
Cody's out on both
Yeah.
right there for the record.
Which means that all I need to do tomorrow, because we're making pizza, I have a pizza oven that is portable. It's the Solo Stove pizza oven, but it works well for at home. So I just need to put pineapple on all the pizzas, and I'm good. I get more pizza, he gets less.
Cody's not coming by if you do that, he said.
Well,
It's at
he's
his
coming
house.
over here. No, I like throwing some artichoke hearts on the pizza.
Ooh, yummy.
Those are good.
That's really good.
That's really good, though, right?
Yeah, that's really good.
So you got your sticker?
I got my sticker.
I haven't gone
Okay,
for that.
fair
I'm trying chef salsas first. I
Yeah.
feel like in the chronological order
Yeah.
of how you're supposed
Save
to
that
do
palate,
this.
Grant.
Yes,
Yeah.
just saying.
So, what's up with this one? Because this one's a little sweet.
That was
So
really good.
that is the matcha verde. It does have vanilla bean in it as well,
Okay.
along with orange zest. There is a splash of honey in that. Yeah, just it's a very
Balancing,
floral
yeah.
one, if I may say. I use dehydrated habanero in it, so there is a little heat, but not a big kick on that.
So what would be one thing that you have to have in your kitchen or at home?
At home.
Honestly, dried chili collection.
Dried chili. That one's new. I like it.
Yeah, that's
Well, we got two new ones. We got a
Yeah.
baking steel and dried chili collection.
Oven steel. Yeah.
Both good choices. You really can't do a pizza at home without some sort of stone or steel in some capacity because you're already bringing a knife to a gunfight with those lower temperatures like that, right? You got a 450 degree home oven, and it's just going to cook the dough so much slower, and so you're going to need to use a wetter dough. It's just a more complex process, quite frankly.
Oh yeah. No, I definitely heat my the pizza oven up to 750 degrees before I even look at it. You know, it's like turn it on, walk away for 30 minutes at least. So
I really feel like Grant taught or went to pizza school in this episode today. He's really introducing us to
101.
what it's like.
Many years in pizza restaurants as well, too, slinging pies through high school, I assure you.
fair enough. So what would be one thing that you would need in your kitchen, Grant?
You know, like a really nice extra virgin olive oil, I think, is a great choice up front. My wife is Greek. You know, like they use olive oil on absolutely everything. It's skincare, it's cooking, like, you know, it's
That and Windex, right?
yeah, an aphrodisiac. Yeah, it's there.
the cure-all.
That's absolutely true. Yes. My wife's also Greek, so 100%.
We're gonna have to put them together. Yeah, mine was actually born in Greece, like immigrant. So
All right.
first
Well,
gen.
all right. Her grandmother was from Greece, so yeah.
You're hiding your bruises
Yeah,
too. This
absolutely.
is perfect. This is
She knows
fantastic.
the soap and the oranges, right?
Yeah.
But we're gonna be right back after the short break with more, and we're gonna see if we're gonna have everybody here in studio, but we're also gonna bring in Arizona Wine Collective, the new owners from over there. So stay through the break. I'm Wesley Source, your host of the Tucson Tasty Show. We'll be right back. Special thank you to our amazing sponsors: Saka, Vera Oral Premium Beef, Your Financial Guide, Cody Peck, Network Outdoors, Local First Arizona, Allegra Marketing, Print and Mail, and Stay Tasty Tucson. Welcome back to the Tucson Tasty Show. I'm your host, Wesley Source, and we're here live in studio again. If you have a question, you can jump on the phone at 520-790-2040. That's 790-2040. Or you can go to YouTube or Facebook and check out these and post out any questions as well. Now, it has to pertain to food, as we are a food show, so that's the only caveat to that. Now, we do have the new owners from Arizona Wine Collective here in studio. Go ahead and introduce yourselves, please.
Hi, this is Michelle.
And I'm Dave.
Go ahead again.
I'm Dave.
There we go. How's it going?
You guys are our neighbors in St. Phil's Plaza, so we're super excited to have you here today on Tasty Tucson.
We are right around the corner from Olive Grant's Creations.
And you took over our Arizona Wine Collective not that long ago, right?
Right, we moved in and took over in mid to late June.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Are you from Tucson?
Absolutely not. We're from as far away from Tucson as you can imagine. We moved
Maine?
in further.
Oh, here we go.
We moved in from Toronto.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
yeah, long way from home.
What brought you to Tucson, and what do you love about what we have to offer here as far as wines go?
Well, I guess we discovered Arizona for the most part from our daughter, who is a student in Phoenix at ASU. Sorry, I know you're wearing the U of A shirt right now, but are we still welcome to be in here?
All right, everybody
Fade
no, it's
out
over.
right now.
Yeah.
Cutting the radio show. We're done here.
No, it's okay. We just don't mention that school here.
Yeah,
That's all.
I know. So yeah, we fell in love with Arizona and thought we'd make home of it. So we found Arizona Wine Collective at the end of last year, and the rest is history. We just kind of made it happen. Mm-hmm. And what do we love about the wines? Do you want to chime in?
A lot, actually. There's a story I like to tell when I'm talking to customers. There's one wine in particular that when we were checking the place out, we knew nothing about Arizona wine until we did a tasting, and each wine we tasted seemed like it was better than the previous one, and there was one in particular that essentially tipped the scales. And it's a grape that I wasn't familiar with. I am now, a Tannat grape, and that was the one when we tasted that grape, or that wine, we knew at that point that we had to try and go forward with it, and 6 months later, here we are.
Who was the winemaker?
The winemaker is a Sonoyta winemaker called Vino Stash.
Okay.
It's their Quick Hand is the label that they what they call the wine, but it's a 100% Tannat. It's fantastic.
Yummy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very
Tasty.
much. Very much.
Well, we do they have a tasting room, or is it just strictly through
They do.
your
They have a
tasting room?
tasting room in Sonoyta.
Wonderful.
And,
It's one of the few female-owned wineries, so it's a pretty rare thing to have.
Yeah.
She's fantastic. We're actually planning on having her do a pop-up in store. So that's one thing that we offer is we do pop-ups with the wineries. So usually the winemaker or the owner of the winery will come in and meet with our customers and test out their wines that we don't normally or necessarily carry in store, but are considering carrying. So it's a unique experience that we have once a month. Yeah, so Brooke actually from Vino Stash will be coming in sometime next year, early next year. But we have people from everywhere coming. So this month we have Deep Sky coming in.
Mhm.
Next month we have Four Tails. So we're always busy. And we also
Yes.
have an education series that we started the last couple of months.
And one of our good friends, Laramida Sellers, as well,
Mm-hmm.
one of your top shelves. But it's not a top shelf price, which is amazing. And we definitely love their wines. Their Padre Kino is one of our favorites because I like that little bit deeper on the wine, and then it's sweet, but it's not sweet, you know. But I don't know if you've had Laramida Sellers, Chef.
I have not. No.
Fair enough. And Grant's in the corner going, "Oh yeah." Mm-hmm.
Oh no, there's a lot of great Arizona wines out there, and I think it's a really noble idea to have a business that celebrates that one as
Yes.
well too, because you've got to be, both a bar and an educator on this one as well too, to teach people that hey, like there's more to wines than just Cabernet and Merlot and
Yeah.
Pinot Noir and coastal grapes. There's all kinds of great things out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have wonderful staff. So we luckily inherited a couple of wonderful ladies, and we're hiring a few more right now that are joining the team. But one of our girls, Emma, has been educating us because for the most part, we are new to Arizona wines as well. Because as you can imagine, Arizona wines isn't very well known throughout the country, let alone in Canada. So we are learning as we go. And Emma's been fantastic at that. And so have the wineries. They've been so wonderful. They stop in and let us taste their wines of what's coming up. And it's been a wonderful experience for us. Yeah.
Well, hopefully we'll be able to break through some of those import-export things that Tucson has, because Tucson, Arizona in general has, because we do have some weird stuff going on there. So what would be one thing that you need in your kitchen at home?
One wine?
Wine or
or ingredient, anything home
ingredient?
kitchen.
Yep.
I mean, obviously, I automatically go to wine. A lot of the Arizona wines, what you'll find is they're food wines, so they're higher acid, but they pair really nicely with food, which I think is a great characteristic as someone who likes to eat. And I like to pair wine with what I'm eating. Arizona is a perfect fit. So
Wonderful.
Vino Stash has got a great lineup. There's so many different wineries in Arizona. There's north of 150 wineries now in Arizona that are producing world-class reds, whites, rosés. Orange wine is a specialty of Arizona that you don't see from a lot of other regions. So it's
And
exciting.
no, it's not made from oranges.
Oh, yeah. I was actually just watching Restaurants on the Edge and was learning about orange wine. That's actually hilarious. But we'll have to dive into what that is. Maybe we can do a pop-up and really, get into some of that information and meet some of the people out there. So we have 4 minutes left. Grant, why don't we talk about a little bit more about that Prop 138, whether it's a plus or minus for anybody, just so we can get that education out.
Sure. So first and foremost, the Reader's Digest condensed answer is it's a yes on 138 up front. It's a Tip Worker Protection Act. Ultimately, what this is going to do is help preserve the tip system as we know it right now. You see, like a tip, when left by a customer who could leave 0% or 25% or 1,000,000% if they want it, is 100% the property of the employees that earn that tip. The restaurant, the business itself can't touch that tip. The managers can't touch that tip. And there's a lot of rules about non-tipped employees even messing with those tips. The second you start to make the wage, as was what was proposed, $16 or $18 an hour, you end up in situations like what you're seeing in California, Oregon, or Washington, where they have tremendous service charges on the bottom of the bill. Sounds just like a tip to you. You might see an 18% service charge and say, hey, that's about the same as I was going to tip anyway. But they're entirely different animals. A service charge belongs to the business. It counts as taxable income to the business. They could pay their back of house, they could pay the front of house, you could pay your food, your liquor bill, you could stick it in your own pocket. And so, as they start to force restaurants into doing more and more service charges with these incredibly high minimum wages, and when you look to those northwestern states, you can see it happening right now. These service employees end up making less and less and less. And so ultimately, the Tip Worker Protection Act would keep the tipped wage at 25% less than whatever the full Monty minimum wage is inside of the state of Arizona. And it would codify this in the Constitution in Arizona, which is a pretty substantive change. And we believe that ultimately this will help protect the tip system in the state of Arizona for the next decade and a half or so, as we see so many people like making an advocacy against tips. Wesley, there's a lot of tip fatigue out there when suddenly you're being asked for a tip by your hardware store guy, or to-go food where you're
Right.
just standing, that are entirely different than what the full service restaurant business is. So for
Absolutely.
those listeners out there, yes, on Proposition 138, it's going to help your tip workers who are already making an absolutely large metric, many times what current minimum wage is already to this day.
Agreed. And thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you, Chef Padilla, for coming in, the CDC over at Valiant V. How do
Thank
we
you for having me, Wes.
How do
Appreciate
people
it.
get into your restaurants?
We accept all walk-ins. Reservation is always welcome as well. But yeah, I mean, we're open all year long, so
Beautiful.
come on by.
And find Network Outdoors at networkoutdoors.com. And how do we get a hold of you guys at Arizona Wine Collective?
You can find us on our website at azwinecollective.com, or Instagram, Facebook. It's at AZ Wine Collective.
Perfect. And then, Grant?
Hey, we're Union Hospitality Group, also in St. Phil's Plaza, southeastern corner of River and Campbell. And you can also find us at the Maverick at Grant and Tango Verde as well, too.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Tucson Tasty Show. We'll see you next Saturday from 3 to 4. We'll have the owners of Brick Box Brewery, Arizona Sunset Treats, Ashley of Cute and Classy Krispies. Thank you to our special guests and sponsors, Grant Cougar, Tim Miller, Christian Padilla, Arizona Wine Collective, Saka, Vero Premium Beef, Your Financial Guy, Cody Peck, Network Outdoors, Local First Arizona, Allegra Marketing Print and Mail. Thank you for tuning in to the Tucson Tasty Show. Remember to savor every delicious bite and keep those taste buds excited. Until next time, stay tasty, Tucson.